this is Troy from Full-Gamut Defense Arts. Finally getting a chance to get back and do a little bit of filming, and today I wanted to film the version of 8 Pieces of Brocade that I learned. Okay? I learned it a very long time ago from my original Tai Chi instructor, and I have not been able to find anyone else that does the set exactly as I do it. The closest I've been able to find is actually in two books by Dr. Yang Ming of YMAA.com, Young Martial Arts Academy. He put out two books years ago with two very slightly different versions of 8 Pieces of Brocade, and they both are pretty close to what I learned. And I'll show you the variations, but I also, the reason I have the tablet in my hand, I wanted to show you the cover of one of those books, so for your own reference in case you want to pick it up. So I don't know how well this will show up. I hope that's showing up. It's a gold covered book, gold border anyway. 8 simple Qigong exercises for health, the 8 Pieces of Brocade. He goes over a seated set and a standing set. And like I said, his is the closest I've found to the way I learned it. He has another book that's a bit older. It's more general Qigong, but it also includes the 8 Pieces of Brocade. So a little on the 8 Pieces of Brocade itself. It's a very old set. I'm not going to get into a lot of detail on the history of it. It's a very old set. I think it's around 1400 years old. Was developed around 600 AD-ish. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might be off on that. It's been a long time since I read the history of it. Because it is so old, there are hundreds of variations on it. So the way I'm doing it, in the order I'm doing it, is the way I was taught. And you may have seen these same exercises done in a different order. None of these exercises may look anything like the version you've learned. This is the way I teach it in my classes, and I'm intending this video for my students' reference. And so for them, I encourage them to do it exactly the way I'm teaching it, because that's what we do in class. Anyone else that's not one of my students that's been wanting to pick up a 8 Pieces of Brocade set, once you've learned the exercises, do whatever you like with them. It's entirely up to you. Change around the order, whatever you like. Someone somewhere is probably doing the exercises in the order you want to do them in anyway. So, without further ado, let's jump into it. Now, I'm not going to do the entire set. I'm going to do all 8 exercises, but to do the whole set would take a full hour. I'm not going to do that. No one would sit through me doing a full hour-long set of it anyway. I'm going to do the set as I do it in class, which is 3 iterations of each exercise, and I'll tell you how many are supposed to be done in the full set as we go along. And I may show you a couple of variations in case, just for your own reference. Okay, so the first one. Oh, and another, before I get started, one of the other reasons I brought up the books by Yang Ming is if you want to get into more of the details of exactly which meridians are being stretched in these exercises, and some of that, his books are excellent. So please pick one of them up. They're available on Amazon and everywhere else. So, okay, so we're going to start off with our feet hip width apart, the outer edges of the feet, the outer edges of the hips. That's what I mean when I say hip width. A lot of people think I mean the inside edge of the foot to hip width. That's not. I mean very comfortable. The legs are straight but not locked. Shoulders are squared over the hips. And the very first exercise we're going to do, we're going to lace the fingers together. Okay, we've all done that. Lace them together. Okay, you're going to turn the palms up and stretch up over your head, over the crown of the head, stretching up and come up onto the balls of the feet. Hold that for a 3 count. Literally just 1, 2, 3, come back down, relax the arms slightly. This is where I differ slightly from, oh no, not this one. This is done the same way that Yang Zhuang Ming does. So a side bend, generally to your left. I know I'm going to my right. I mirror everything in my classes, so it's my habit. Then 3 count to the other side. Then stretch up again, but don't go onto the balls of the feet. Stretch, release the arms, relax the arms down. Do that again. Lace the fingers together. Turn the palms up. Stretch up. Come up on the balls of the feet for 3 count. 1, 2, 3. Relax down. Relax the arms slightly. Side bend. This is normally done 24 times. Stretch up without going onto the balls of the feet. Release and relax down. One more time and then we'll move on. Lace the fingers together. Stretch up. Come up on the balls of the feet. 1, 2, 3. Relax down. Arms down a little bit. Side bend. And then stretch back up without coming on the balls of the feet. And relax down. Okay? And from the side, I'll just do one really quick. It's just here. Right? Side. Side. I know I'm doing it extra quick. I'm not doing the 3 count. And relax. So, fairly straightforward, easy, nice stretch. Gets into the shoulders a little bit, into the side a little bit. Okay? Second, we're going to take a wide stance. Toes are turned out slightly for balance. Now, it doesn't have to be a great big double horse stance kind of thing, but wider than your shoulders. Okay? We're going to bring the palms together and turn the fingers up like we're praying. Okay? But, and I'm going to have to turn sideways to show you this. We're going to press the palms together a little bit. It doesn't have to be super strong, but press them together. And then you're going to pull the shoulders down and the elbows go forward. And we're trying to stretch between the shoulder blades. So what I'm doing, I'll get a little closer here. I'm going here. You see the expansion of the back? This does not necessarily hold to Tai Chi principles. This is Qigong. It doesn't have to hold the same principles. Our idea there, at least in the version I learned, is to stretch between the shoulder blades as much as we can. We hold that for a 3 count. Then, continuing to press the hands together, we stand up slightly and bring the hands up. And then to our left, like we're drawing a bow, okay, we're going to come out. Now the hand is in this, some people call it the secret sword hand. The index and middle fingers are extended. The ring finger and little finger are curled, and the thumb touches the nails of both of those fingers. Okay? So we have that in both hands, and when we come down, we are pointing, we're stretching out with the left hand or right hand, my right hand, and stretching back with the elbow. The tendency here is to do this. Okay? So make sure this elbow is going out. And you hold for a 3 count. Also, one other thing is in this particular version, our weight goes to the side with the extended arm. Many versions shift to the other leg. In fact, the Shaolin version I've seen has a hand like this, more of a Ba hand, and they actually do this, okay, in their version. Okay? Ours, not quite that vigorous. So, coming back to center, press the hands together, fingers pointing up, stretch down with the shoulder first, then forward with the elbows and back with the spine. up, still pressing together, and then to my left, your right, and I'm shifting slightly into that leg, stretching out, looking out over the extended hand. Relax, come back to center. Stretching, shoulders down, elbows forward, up, stretching out. Okay. Some people will recognize this as being very similar to a movement from yoga. But we're in a horse stance. I believe the version from yoga is in more of a front stance. I haven't studied a lot of yoga, so if I'm wrong, bear with me. Okay? One more on each side. Now this is also done 24 times. That would be 12 on each side. So this will be our last one. Up. And then relax, back to center. Come back to your hip width stance. For our third one, this is where I am a little different than what's in the Yang Jung Ming book. Okay? We start off the same. Again, our hip width stance. We bring the hands up. And then, again, it's normally left hand high, right hand low. I mirror everything for my students, so I do this. The upper hand, we're stretching. Okay? The head is stretching up as though suspended from above. The tailbone is stretching down, tucked under slightly. The upper hand is over bai hui, okay, the crown of the head. The lower hand is over the instep of the appropriate foot, in this case my left. Okay? We hold this stretch for 3 count. This is where we're a little different than Yang Jung Ming. From here, keeping the hips squared forward, I'm going to turn the waist to my left, your right, so that I'm twisting the waist, and it's always to the low hand side. Okay? Twisting, holding for a 3 count. Coming back to center, relax, stretch. This exercise is also done 24 times, so 12 on each side. Stretch, hold for 3, keep the hips squared forward, turn the waist. Back to center. One more on each side, I believe. Easy to lose track when you're talking all the time. Back to center and relax. Okay? That is number 3. Number 4 is an exercise for the neck. It uses 3 hand positions. We turn 24 times, so a total of 12 to each side for 24, and that's 24 for each hand position. I am just going to do 3 for each hand position. Okay? First, the hands are just hanging at the sides. We're in our hip width stance. Keeping the chin level, starting to your left, my right. Turn as far as you can comfortably, without hurting yourself, without feeling any strain, and let the weight drift to that side of your stance. And then across, there are no pauses, no 3 counts on this, just back and forth. And we go to one more. And then for the second position, you're going to bring the hands up to the kidneys. Now I'm going to turn around to show you this, because a lot of people don't know where their kidneys are. They think they're down here, Kidneys are not down here, they're up here, tucked under the ribs. So there's just a little piece of them sticking out. We want to put the palms right over that, palms in if you can, if you have the flexibility. Okay. If you have the flexibility. Otherwise, just bringing the hands back as close as you can to the kidneys is fine. You'll build up that flexibility. So, here we go. We continue going. This would be another 24 times, 12 each side. We'll do 3. And this will be our last one. Coming back to center. Now our third position, we bring the hands up and round. And if you know how to bow the arm, this is what I call a yang style bow because the palm is facing me. Chen style, we bow with the palm out. Not totally out, obviously, but the bow is here. So we're stretching, we're rounding the back, sinking the chest, just like out of the Taiji classics, and we're stretching out round. Fingers pointing at each other but not touching. Okay? Like we're making a basketball hoop here. And we continue. And then back to center and relax. So, that's the halfway point in the set. Okay. Now we go back out into a wide stance. Again, doesn't have to be huge, but wider than your shoulders. And this one is, I've seen a couple of variations that are sort of opposite each other, which is an interesting thing to me. But what we're going to do is we sit down a little bit and we're going to turn the thumbs to the outside of the knees and rest the hands just above the knee. A lot of people want to come up here. This is wrong. We want to be down here. The reason for that is that ideally we're going to bring our torso parallel with the floor right here at the center. And then we're going to do the movement and we'll come up out of that. And then we swing back down through to parallel to the other side. So, doing that, we're going to bring the body parallel. We're going to shift to the left, my right, twist, look back over your shoulder. Okay? And once you're there, and you're holding for your 3 count, turn only the head to look back the other way. But make sure you look back over the shoulder on the side you're twisting to first. Make sure you're secure there before you twist the head. Otherwise, people have a tendency to do this, and they're really not getting the twist in the torso. Okay? We come back down to center, body parallel, come across, twist, come up, look over the shoulder, keeping the palms flat on the knees. Then you can turn the head, then down, across, turn, down, parallel with the floor, look back, turn. One more on each side. Holding each of these for a 3 count again, just like we were before. Back to center, then we bring the body upright and stand up. Okay, that one is also done 24 times. All of them up to this point are 24. The 12 on each side. The fourth one, the neck, is 24 at each stage, so 12 on each side at each hand position. Right? Now, number 6 is where it changes. This one is done 16 times. So, back to our hip width stance. We stretch up with the crown of the head. Tailbone is tucked, knees are not locked, and we push down with the palms as we're stretching up with the head. We hold for a 3 count. Then we stretch, continuing to stretch up with the head, we stretch up with the hands. And I don't know if you can see my hands. Okay? The fingers are pointed in towards each other, and I'm trying to push up straight up from the crown of the head. So I'm trying to be here. Okay? Hold that for a 3 count. Then, bending at the waist, we're not trying to stretch down and touch our toes, just hang. And because we're only doing 3 of these, I hang for a 9 count. If I was doing 16 of them, I would hang for a 3 count. Then I come up. And I'll point out another thing at the end of this iteration. So the head is pushing up, the hands down, hold for a 3 count. Hands push up, fingers pointing in, trying to be right over the crown of the head for a 3 count. And then down and hang. Now, if you have lower back issues, you want to do this. I'm going to turn to the side. You bend the knees and try to get your pelvis under. You see how that brings my torso up. And then I can stand up. And I'm taking some pressure off my back. If I'm just doing this, there's a lot more pressure on that lower back. So be careful of that if you do have any lower back issues. So, one more time. The head stretches up, the hands stretch down, knees stay unlocked. Now the hands stretch up, fingers pointing in, palms up, and then our hang. And then bend the knees, tuck the pelvis under to help take that pressure off your lower back. Okay? Now, the 7th one. This is an isometric exercise. If you are not familiar with what an isometric exercise is, I'll give you just the basic rundown. In isometrics, you are using the muscles against each other. So, an example. When I want to punch, the main muscles, there are a lot of muscles involved, but the main ones we're concerned with are the triceps, the deltoids, and a little bit of the pectorals. Because muscles can't push, they can only pull. So the ones doing the pulling are the triceps, and the deltoid lifts me up here. Also a little bit of one branch of the biceps helps with that lift too. But for the most part, it's triceps and deltoid that allow me to punch. Okay? The biceps curls the arm, bends the arm. So what I want to do in an isometric is I'm using the triceps to do a punch, but I'm tightening the bicep so it's fighting against the tricep, right? So I'm doing this, and you can see I'm shaking a little bit because I've got those muscles working against each other. So in the 7th exercise, what we want to do is we want to tighten every muscle in the body. The main ones that are moving are the arms, but we want to tighten everything. This one is sometimes called glaring at an imaginary enemy. And that is to remind us, at least in my opinion, that even the face has to be tightened. So, we go out into our wide stance. We start off with the hands at the hips. Now I use a very specific breathing order just to help my students get the sequence down. You don't have to stick to this, but I'm going to go through it here. So, we inhale. Nice long breath, deep breath. Using the diaphragm, breathing down into the dantian. On the exhale, we tighten all the muscles. The toes, the hands, the arms, the legs, the stomach and back. We keep everything tight. On the inhale, we bring the fist up. On the exhale, we turn, shift slightly to that side, and punch slowly out, using those muscles against each other, doing that isometric, all the way out to the extent of the punch. And we're looking out over the fist, glaring at that imaginary enemy. At the end of our extension, we relax everything without collapsing. Bring the hand in on the inhale, down on the exhale. Other side, inhale, exhale, punching out to the side, relax. Inhale, bring the hand in, exhale down. Now this one is normally done 16 times as well. We're going to do 3. Or 6 if you want to count it that way. Everything tight. Shifting slightly to that side. Relax. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, tighten. Inhale. Fist up. Exhale, punching out to the side. Relax. Inhale. Exhale. One more on each side. Relax. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale, fist up. Exhale, punching out to the side. Relax. Inhale. Exhale. And then we want to sit down a little bit farther, and we want a long, slow, deep, smooth, even breath. Relax. A lot of people will really feel it in their legs if they don't do a lot of leg work. Imagine doing it 16 times. Okay, so that takes us down to the 8th one, the last one. And this one it shares some parts with number 4. So, we're using the same 3 hand positions we used with number 4. And if you remember, 4 was turning the head. Only this one is calf raises. Normally you do 24 at each stage. 3 doesn't seem like enough, so my students and I do 8 for the shortened version. So we're going to come here, we hold for a 3 count, and I hope you can see my feet. We come up, 1, 2, 3, and back down. Nice and relaxed, don't drop. 2, 2, 3, down. 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 6, 2, 3. Try to keep your weight on the big toes. 7, 2, 3, and 8, 2, 3. Okay, if you let the weight go to the outside of the foot, that's where your ankles feel like they're trying to collapse out from under you. So try to keep the weight on those big toes, pressing those big toes down. Okay, second position, hands on the kidneys. Remember, base of the ribs right here, kidneys are sticking out slightly. Put the hands right over that, and 8 more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then our third is this nice stretch around the basketball hoop, trying to stretch everything, bowing the arms, and 8 more. And why do I do 8 instead of 9, since 9 multiples of 3 are generally how you do Qigong? Because it's easy for my students to remember. 8 exercises, 8th exercise, 8 of each. that should be it. And then we close, however you choose to close. Qigong. Okay? That is Eight Pieces of Brocade. As I said before, with the Yang Ming books, he goes into detail on exactly which meridians are being stretched in each of these exercises. It is almost identical to what I do, except for things like this turn and a couple of other tiny, tiny details that are not even worth mentioning. So pick up his book if you want to know more about the history of the set and the details of what's going on in each one. But that's all I have for you for this video. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.